all gonna die.
Time offers many opportunities. It rarely offers second chances. The true final frontier is time.
When the Star Trek Picard segment was announced for New York ComicCon 2022, expectations on getting any really exciting news about the upcoming season of the show were pretty low.
Right, Alex? Yeah, right.
Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden had represented the cast at San Diego Comic-Con in July, but the only real news that came out was that the Season 3 villain would be a she.
I won't say too much, other than to say that she's amazing.
A rather lackluster Star Trek day in September did give us our first Picard Season 3 teaser, which was big on hype, but offered no real surprises or insight on the upcoming season. It appeared as if, other than Terry Matalas's tweets, Picard Season 3 was going to take its secrets all the way to the premiere on February 16th. But when the entire Legacy Next Generation crew came out on stage in New York last weekend, something interesting and exciting was in the air. And boy was it ever. The surprises were plentiful and shocking. We've even been told longtime fans are going to need a handkerchief at the end of this show. This is everything you need to know about Picard Season 3, so you don't want to miss this episode. Also, make sure you stay tuned until later, where we'll show you how Exter is revolutionizing the most important thing we put in our pocket. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now. And give us a thumbs up if you want more inside knowledge about your favorite shows. And make sure you stay tuned to the end to see how to get this awesome Star Trek Captain Picard Day graphic design from the amazing artists at mixtees.com.
Yes, it's for the children. I'm I'm a role model.
If the events surrounding Picard Season 3 that came out during New York Comic-Con this weekend doesn't get you excited about the upcoming season, then you need to check your pulse. Longtime fans of Star Trek The Next Generation are promised a satisfactory ending to the TNG characters and story. Showrunner Terry Matalas, who is also a huge Next Gen fan, has said it repeatedly and also said it again on the New York panel.
I think it's a pretty satisfying conclusion to these arcs.
Patrick Stewart, who was firmly against bringing back the rest of the crew, was asked if he was fulfilled on what Matalas wanted to deliver, bringing everyone back.
Fulfilled way beyond anything that I had imagined.
The praise for Matalas's work extended to nearly every cast member who recognized that none of this would have even been possible without him, and they loved every minute of what was created.
We are blessed to have had Terry Matalas, who loves this cast.
The energy on stage was electric, and it seemed as if Picard Season 3 had revitalized the old cast, with Brent Spiner calling out Paramount for his own series, and LeVar Burton handing out a series for everyone.
Paramount Plus, I wouldn't mind having my own series.
You get a series, and you get a series, and you get a series.
The old cast is having fun again, and it seems to be a great sign for fans of the Next Generation that really want Picard Season 3 to give the crew the send-off it deserves, if they even ride off into the sunset at all. Stewart made it very clear that the whole cast would be happy to do a movie again, and even pointed out that isn't there a Star Trek 4 slot open right now?
We could still make a movie.
There were several things from the panel that shed light on Season 3, but nothing was brighter than the full-length promo trailer entitled Scorch the Earth. The trailer begins with Picard receiving a distress call from Beverly, who she says is being hunted. Picard tells 7 of 9 we must run, and 7 of 9 says,
From what?
With this, we get our first look at the anticipated villain for Season 3, played by Amanda Plummer, who is best known for her roles in Pulp Fiction and The Fisher King. She's playing Vatic, who not only has a bone to pick with the Federation, but with Jean-Luc as well.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Fire!
We see her taunting Picard and heavily attacking his vessel. Worf apparently now prefers pacifism to combat.
I now prefer pacifism to combat.
We're all gonna die.
And Beverly will insist Picard's life is at risk.
Attempts on your life.
We have a young LaForge at the helm, and Deanna senses an
All-consuming darkness.
And then, as if from beyond the grave, one of TNG's favorite villains raises his head, and it's the hologram Professor James Moriarty, played by fan favorite Daniel Davis.
Greetings, old friends.
And just when you thought all the excitement was over, the credits roll, but there is one more scene. The familiar face of Data strolls onto the screen, but instead of looking young and inquisitive, he is old and scowling. Geordi whispers, "Lore," and then there are suddenly a whole bunch of excited questions. We are going to go deeper into what we know about each of these revelations, but hold on to that thought for just a moment. There are a lot of fans out there who were disappointed by Picard Seasons 1 and 2, and for good reason. But what this trailer showed us is that Picard Season 3 is going to be completely different. This will be the show longtime fans were hoping Picard would be in the first place. In the first 2 seasons, we had a few cameos, but they were just that.
Just because I didn't try to talk you out of it, didn't mean I was gonna let you go it alone.
In this season, Matalas has promised, and Stewart and others have confirmed, that every character will have their own story arc that will lead to a satisfactory conclusion for the crew. Matalas had always thought the TNG crew needed one more movie to say goodbye, but he knew there wasn't enough time in a movie to say goodbye the right way. But the 10 episodes of Picard Season 3 will do just that. This season is going to be jam-packed with tons of Star Trek Ghosts of Christmas Past, as well as a few new surprises. If seeing Lore and Moriarty wasn't enough, Matalas teased a huge bombshell, which was an idea by Patrick Stewart that was not in the trailer.
Patrick has a bombshell idea that has not been revealed about this season yet, but just you wait.
If you've been following us, then you know we believe that surprise will be Jean-Luc's son. And you can learn who he and his mother are in this video, which you can watch right after this one. But what do we know about Lore, Moriarty, and the new villain Vatic, as well as some other hints given away by the panel? Have the showrunners and actors given away more than was in the trailer? Well, they sure have.
I was allowed to say that, right?
But before we break it down for you, let me quickly tell you why you're going to love this video's sponsor, Exter. We just threw away our old wallets. Want to know why? Because we just discovered the most efficient smart wallet in the world. Exter has revolutionized the wallet, and we will never go back to bifold. We are so impressed. Exter wallets are super slim and sleek. They are half the size of a conventional bifold wallet. Compact and modular, they hold 12 cards or more plus cash. And that means no more stuffing that bulky, worn-out bifold wallet into your back pocket. Forget sitting on that uncomfortable lump and slide Exter into your front pocket instead. This high-quality wallet combines Italian leather, space-grade aluminum, and carbon fiber. Plus, it includes built-in RFID blocking to protect you from wireless theft. And you know how hard it can be to replace all of your cards if your wallet is stolen. Exter includes a tracking card to help you keep an eye on your belongings with a map, and you can even ring it for location assistance. This is the last wallet you'll ever buy. To get an Exter wallet like ours, visit shop.exter.com/thepopcast. Get 25% off your order when you use code THEPOPCAST at checkout. Join the wallet revolution and upgrade your quality of life with Exter today.
Thank you, you 5 people. Thank you so much.
Before we take a deep dive on each of our returning main cast members, let's take a look at what we know about each of the new characters we see in the trailer. Yes, we've seen Lore and Moriarty as well, but Vatic will be the main villain and antagonist for Season 3 of Picard. And according to Matalas, she is a mystery, but has a sympathetic reason for wanting revenge against Picard and the Federation. He described her as a classic Star Trek villain and that she really delivers. Amanda Plummer is the only person Matalas wanted for this role. We don't know a lot about her from the trailer, but we know she captains a ship called the Shrike, and she's doing some serious damage to the Titan. The Shrike looks sharp and menacing, and has a ton of firepower. And when you see Vatic on her bridge, you may not recognize it, but you can almost imagine Rios sitting there. The production crew gutted the La Sirena from Seasons 1 and 2 to build the inside of the Shrike. What you didn't see in the trailer is that the Shrike will be equipped with a stolen weapon that can cause an incredible amount of damage to the Federation that you won't be able to fathom. Telling you more would absolutely ruin Picard Season 3, so that's all we can say about the Shrike. As far as Amanda Plummer, who plays Vatic, you might recognize that last name. Yes, Amanda is the daughter of Christopher Plummer, who nearly stole the movie from William Shatner in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country as the character of Chang.
Wrong us. Shall we not revenge?
Could that have something to do with why Amanda was given the role? Well, only Terry can tell us, but what we can tell you is that aside from her 101 acting appearances on the big screen, the 65-year-old actress is accomplished on the stage as well. Her ability to get freakishly intense and psychotic is unmatched, and from what we can see in the trailer, as well as things we've heard from people who watched her on set, you are about to see a performance reminiscent of the intensity of Ricardo Montalban's Khan. Sci-fi fans might also remember Amanda as the Oracle from Battlestar Galactica.
And that is why you're here.
There aren't many times in TNG where we think, wow, the crew really got bamboozled there, especially when it comes to the holodeck where all the characters are just photons and force fields. Well, that is unless you count the 2 episodes that feature Sherlock Holmes' nemesis, Professor Moriarty.
Professor James Moriarty.
Thanks, Geordi. And we blame Geordi because he created him, sorta. Moriarty was created after Data, Geordi, and Dr. Pulaski were having a discussion about Data's ability to solve problems like Sherlock Holmes. Pulaski said Data could only solve mysteries because he'd memorized all the novels. So Geordi suggested a test and decided to let the computer create an opponent for Data and told it to create an adversary with the ability to defeat him. Moriarty was born and would become aware of himself as a hollow character, played by the brilliant stage actor Daniel Davis, who would go on to fame as the snarky British butler Niles on The Nanny from 1993 to 1999. There is almost nothing in the trailer that gives away Moriarty's purpose on the show.
I just had to have Moriarty back. I don't know what to say.
The last we see of him is that he believes he has escaped the Enterprise with Countess Bartholomew, and as far as they are concerned, heading for Melis 2. Unknown to Moriarty, he and his beloved were actually still in a holo program and would spend the rest of their lives inside a memory module. So how the heck will Moriarty get out? And he must be really mad they fooled him back in the Ship in a Bottle episode. Well, not so fast. Following the panel at New York ComicCon, Daniel Davis's non-disclosure agreement was loosened and he was able to discuss the upcoming role a little bit. In a cameo interview with Timothy Roy, Davis may have shared a bit more than CBS would have liked. He said fans will enjoy what happens more if they understand it's a callback to an earlier season before Moriarty appears during the first meeting between Riker and Data. Davis also gives us a line that Riker says in his scene with him. Riker will say, "This is not the Moriarty we knew from the Enterprise." Davis confirmed this line to be true. It's a different Moriarty, but still is Moriarty. So the Moriarty we remember is still likely floating out in space, unaware that he is still in a program. If you were hoping that Moriarty would play a huge role in the story arc for Season 3, don't get your hopes up. Davis also divulged that all of the filming for his character was shot in Los Angeles in one day, so expect 1 or maybe 2 episodes with Moriarty at the most. He may very well play a distraction as part of Vadic's plan to torment Picard. Deanna says there is a darkness on this ship, an all-consumed darkness, and we next see a shot of Vatic. There will be a lot to unpack when the season gets started. On a side note, the performance of Davis as Moriarty can't be understated. He was the inspiration behind the character of the Doctor on Star Trek Voyager. In fact, his character was briefly considered to be a regular on the spin-off Delta Quadrant show, but they couldn't figure out why anyone would take him along, so they decided to go with the Doctor. Say thank you, Robert Picardo. Brent Spiner has played many roles in Star Trek, and while Data was his bread and butter, lore would give him the chance to cut loose. The Soong-type android would end up becoming emotionally unstable and malevolent. There was no doubt when Lore showed up on the Enterprise, something bad was about to happen. So when the trailer for Picard Season 3 ends with an aged, grimacing Data lookalike and Geordi half whispers Lore, everyone gasps. So how is Lore back? The last we knew of Lore, Data had deactivated him and he was dismantled with the emotion chip eventually being installed in Data. We'd love to let you believe that Lore is back and we have yet another villain to deal with, but sometimes our favorite Star Trek actors can't help cutting off their noses to spite their faces. Check out this little exchange during the New York panel between Jonathan Frakes and Spiner.
So you're Lore, and you're back as Lore, just to catch you up.
Am I?
Yeah.
Are you?
Before lore? Yeah. Before lore.
Before lore.
There was before.
Before is not in it. Lore is in it.
Lore is in it in a very complicated way.
Yes, so B4 is not a cute way to say he played Lore before. Before was actually an earlier android model to both Lore and Data, and Spiner pretty much just gives it away. Metalis tells Spiner that he is playing Lore, and Spiner says, "Sorry, am I?" We know he's just trying to be funny, but the entire exchange really just gives away the fact that what we are looking at isn't exactly Lore. During the panel, Spiner does say Lore is in it in a very complicated way. What we know is the character we saw in the trailer will be some combination of B4 and Lore, and don't be surprised if some element of Data's positronic brain ends up combining with B4 and Lore's bodies, and by the end of the show, Data is back. And why is he old? Because Data in Season 1 of Picard looked weird. So we are going to let this one go and just roll with it.
That's more like it.
If you were wondering if we are getting Wesley Crusher, you can stop because Will Wheaton already announced he wouldn't be in Season 3, and Metalis was quick to remind us of it when we forgot. Thank you, Terry.
Here's the deal, boys.
That said, everyone else will be playing a huge role in Season 3. Jean-Luc will receive a distress call from Beverly, and then ask Will Riker for help. Frakes gave away that Picard and Riker would have a level of conflict that Gene Roddenberry would not have liked. Metalis compares it to Crimson Tide, where Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington fight over launching nuclear missiles.
If you're familiar with the movie Crimson Tide.
Who will be Gene and who will be Denzel is yet to be seen, but it was obvious by Frakes that the exchange will be intense. Worf is on a journey according to Michael Dorn. He said,
"He's always been on a journey, and I was very fortunate that the producers kind of incorporated both of our, ideas about where he's going to be and where he's going to go." And
there are things Dorn wanted to keep and things they convinced Dorn to change about the character. He indicated that there would be a lot about Worf we would and wouldn't recognize, but in the end, he was very happy with where our favorite Klingon ends up. We probably know more about Geordi than anyone else on the show. He is married and has 2 daughters that followed him into Starfleet, and one we see at the helm of the Titan while the Shrike is attacking. LeVar Burton sang the praises of Terry Metalis, whom he said loves this cast. Burton's real-life daughter Mika will be playing one of Geordi's daughters on the show. There's more to share, but we don't want to give away too much. Let's just say that Geordi hasn't lost his connection with the Enterprise D. That's right, we said D. Gates McFadden has been one of the most vocal cast members leading up to Season 3 and has participated in almost every event. She seems very grateful that she was given the opportunity to play Beverly Crusher again, and she loves everything she gets to do in the upcoming season. What we don't know leading into the show is that Beverly is being hunted by Vatic because she has something or someone that's special. You can see the video at the end of this one for more information. Last but not least is Deanna Troi. Marina Sirtis was all piss and vinegar during the panel, but she did share some interesting information. She said there are stuff you'll recognize about the old Troi. Even from the trailers, we see she can still sense things. But even more interesting, she indicated, was the wonderful stuff she would be doing with Brent Spiner as Lore B4 Data on the show. She wouldn't go into details, but perhaps Counselor Troi is the one that has to put Humpty Dumpty Data back together again. We'll have to wait and see.
Anyway,
we haven't mentioned Rafi or 7 of 9 in this show, despite the fact that they are both in it. 7 appears to be in command of the Titan, and Rafi can be seen in the trailer with Worf saying he was once like her. The one thing we can say for sure is that when Metalis was asked if we will see a turnover from this generation to the next generation, he said,
"Definitely."
So expect some sort of baton handoff to someone else. Picard Season 3 is going to be a totally different show than the first 2 seasons. According to everyone in the know, this is a proper love letter send-off to the crew that we have loved for more than 30 years now. Us Next Generation fans have put our hearts in your hands, Terry Metalis. Let's finish this thing the right way and show everyone making new Star Trek today exactly how a Star Trek show can be made and also celebrate what has come before. What do you think? Are you looking forward to Picard Season 3, or are you incapable of being hyped? Do you think Amanda Plummer can pull off the villain role? Do you think we are getting lore back, or is it some combination of androids? Will you be watching the upcoming season of Picard? Let's discuss it in the comments below. Also, support the channel and check out this Star Trek Picard Day graphic design in our store. Get 20% off your purchase by using coupon code ThePopcast. The link is in the description below. And don't forget to check out the extra wallets in the link below. They are really fantastic.
You're only as good as those around you.